Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So what we are going to discuss today is basically how to update record. So previously we have insert record, okay, one record at a time, new record. So after that we have also do the search functionality, and also we have do the pagination last week in week 7. So currently we are in week 8, if I'm not mistaken, and we are trying to update record. The update record means you have existing record, and then the user can pick that particular record to be changed. So you can edit, you can change. Basically, the term is sometimes we use update because this is what we are using inside the SQL command, which is the update record. Okay, so to update a record, okay, to update a record, we need to have some mechanism to actually select or pick. Okay, user can pick one record. Okay, user can pick one record at a time, and this particular record will be this particular selection of record will be sent to another page, whereby you can have your existing record appear in that screen. Okay, and then after that, the user can modify the record. Okay, the record that has been selected, user can actually modify it. So how to do that? So last week, what we did was test trainer. So this is what we did last week, whereby we can have the user to select whatever record that they want. So right now we have only several records, which are almost 7 records. So last week we did a facility to search for the record, for a specific record. So let's say the user would like to search for Ali. Okay, the trainer name with name Ali. So this is how we did the search by keyword. Okay, search by keyword. So let's say we have here our record has been displayed. Whatever that we search, whatever that the user search is displayed inside this screen. And somehow or other, the user would like to change this Aminah, okay, this particular trainer named Aminah, okay, into something else. Maybe this is just the short name of that particular trainer. Would like to add the surname or the father's name of this trainer. So we can have a facility to add, to update, okay, to update the content. So how can the user select this particular content? So how can a user select this particular record and change it to something else, or add a new content inside? Or it's not adding a new content, just to update the existing content. Okay, update is basically a facility to modify existing content. So basically, update is SQL command. It's an SQL command. It's an SQL command. SQL means a structured query language, which normally has in database facilities. Okay, normally they have it in database facilities. Okay. So what we are going to do is basically to create a button for each of the record. Okay, we will create an update button for each of the record so that the user could pick one record to update. Okay, to pick one record to update. And then after the user select one record, that particular ID or the key will be sent to the another page or another screen. Okay, inside that screen, inside the new screen, we can see the existing content. We can see existing content, and the form can actually rewrite or change, okay, the existing content. After the user change the existing content, it will be sent back to the database with the modification. With the modification. So how can we do that? We go back to the code, which is the one that has the index. Okay, index.blade.php. So we have the index.blade.php. Inside that index.blade.php, what we have is the listing. Okay, the listing or the index or the search functionality of that particular trainer module. I change this first. So this is what inside our index.blade.php. This is what inside our index.blade.php. So here we have the row. This is the header row, and this is the record row. Whereby here you can see the trainer ID, the trainer name, and the trainer web. So in order for us to create a new button for each of the record, we need to add another column. Okay, we need to add another column. So we add another column. So this is the button. Okay, here is the button. So we have the actions column. Okay, and here we will create the update button. Update. Then later you will see something like that. A new column with the title actions and the caption of the update button. So we have the column name or the field name or the column name. This is actually a column name. And in the second row and or in the data row, we will add update button. Okay, so that this will provide the interface for a button. By clicking this button, my intention is to actually select. So for the user can select. Okay, for the user to select that particular record. So here we have the button, and then we have the I need to use another HTML tag, which is link. Okay, only link. So here we have the href, and we have the class btn with btn dash success. BTN success is to have your button in green. Why? BTN, oh sorry, there's no space, there's no slash dash. BTN and BTN. With a href y a href plus BTN update a href. Href is actually the link, but now we just leave it blank. And then later we will change this. So class BTN means BTN. Where's my So here we have our A href class BTN. A href class BTN.
Sir, the success is double C and double S, I think.
Oh, okay. BTN success.
Yes.
Success.
Same like you used before the first time. BTN. Is it BTN, double BTN and space BTN?
BTN.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Terima kasih. Lupa.
Sama.
To make it simpler, you can use the icon facility. Okay, there's an icon facility which is available in Bootstrap, which is the I. I class okay. Later I'll check why we don't have an icon appearing in our button. This is supposed to be the code to display an icon inside the button. Then, in order for us to redirect or to send the link, okay, this is actually a link. So in order for us uh, to display, in order for the developer to display the existing content, okay, we need to display existing content so that the user can change existing content and save it to the database back. Okay, so here we need a new interface which has almost the same capability as insert or create.blade.php. But the create.blade.php is actually for us to create a new record. So that's why when you come to the interface of creating a new record, your form will be blank. Your form should be blank. Huh? However, for the update facilities, your interface will need to display the old or the existing data. Okay, you need to display the existing data. So by doing that, user can actually aware what is your existing record, and inside the form of editing a new record, then later user can change or modify or add, okay, and resubmit back to the database to store the new record. Okay, so the first step that you need to do is basically to create the form. Okay, to create the form. So the form name should be something like edit. Okay, edit. Okay, the form name should be edit.blade.php. That's what that's a good practice, or that's what they practice in Laravel. When we need to update a new record, we will have an interface, a form, which name is edit.blade.php. Okay, edit.blade.php. So how to do that? First, you need to open the create.blade.php. Okay, you need to open this create.blade.php. You already did create.blade.php. Just open the file, the old file, which is the create.blade.php. Okay, open this file, create.blade.php. Then we will need to amend this content inside the create.blade.php to accommodate, okay, the update facilities. Just save this as. So open create.blade.php, which reside in folder trainers. Inside the resources views, trainers, we have the create.blade.php. And from this file, I want you to file save as. Okay, file save as. And then inside the same folder of resources views trainers, okay, inside the same folder as the resources views trainers, and just save as edit.blade.php. Not rename, just you need to save as. The file create.blade.php, we need to save as. Save as edit.blade.php. Then save. So we need to do some modification to this edit.blade.php. But for now, I just would like to change the title. Okay, so the first step is to actually call this interface of edit.blade.php from the controller. Okay, we need to change to call this from the controller. So after you have saved that create.blade.php, save as edit.blade.php. Now you have 3 files, additional edit.blade.php inside the folder trainers. So now you have 3 files. One is index, which is the search, the create. Okay, this is we did create before, and now we have edit. So don't worry, we just need to call this views, which is the edit.blade.php. How to call these views? We need to call from trainer controller. We need to call this interface from the trainer controller. So which function? Okay, which function? Which function to call this edit.blade.php? We need to go to edit function. So inside this edit function, it just simply return view. Return view trainers.edit. Just do this simple one, okay, to simply call the edit.blade.php. Because as I always repeat, we have a controller, which is edit controller, to show the edit.blade.php. Okay, the controller need to be called or invoke the function edit. That particular edit function will actually show you the view in edit.blade.php to the user. This is just to show you the form, not yet extracting the old database, not yet extracting the old record, not yet. So now we have our controller, which is the edit function, edit function, and send it and call the view of edit.blade.php. In order for us to call the edit function, we need to call it from the routing. So basically, all the routings has been created inside the resource route. Okay, inside the resource route. So to call your edit function inside the trainer controller, okay, we need to put the routing inside the button, so that when the user press this update button, click this update button, it will show you the edit interface. So how to do that? We need to go back to our index.update.php, and inside the update button. Inside this update button, or maybe we can use edit lah. Okay, we can use the term edit. Edit means you modify. Update means in database normally to save. Okay, to save what you have edit. Okay, update is basically to save what you have edit, but edit is actually the interface. Okay, the interface, the form, okay, to modify your data. So inside this href, we can use the route name. Okay, add the route name inside the update button, which is trainer dot I need to check in. I need to check back to the trainer. Sorry, to the route list. Okay, I need to check back to the route list. How to call the edit? Okay, how to call this edit? So how to check our route list? I need to go to the terminal. And then we have to write the PHP artisan route list with minus name something. Here you can see the edit function. I'll magnify this. Okay, here you can see the edit function from the trainer controller. How to call this edit function? We need to use the trainer.edit. The route name is basically the trainer.edit. Okay, this is the function that we will invoke. The edit function which reside in trainer controller. This is the one that we need to invoke. And how to invoke this? Call from the route name trainer.edit. You can see here the route name is trainer.edit. Okay, trainer.edit. Trainer.edit. So add this route trainer.edit inside the button href. Then after that, let me try. I need to refresh this first because trainer.edit. So how to call trainer.edit? Wait, there's something. How to call that trainer.edit? Trainer.edit. Okay. So to use the route trainer.edit, inside the routing specification, it has mentioned to pass the ID number. Okay, this is the ID number. So we need to pass the ID number of the record. Okay, we need to pass the ID number of that particular record. So this is basically the ID number. You need to provide also the ID number, meaning that when you want to go for when you want to go display the edit.blade.php, we need also to pass the ID number of that particular record. So that's the rule in Laravel, whereby when you want to call the edit function from a controller, you need also to provide the ID number of the record. So how to do that? Just modify this route function and provide the second parameter, which is the ID. Okay, here we have the ID, the training ID, the trainer.id. Okay, use this to provide the second parameter, which is the record ID. So this is basically the record ID. When you want to call the edit controller from the trainer controller, we need to pass the ID. Because inside the trainer controller, also you will notice that you have a parameter which name is ID. So when you call these edit functions from the trainer controller, you must have another parameter which is the ID. Okay, you need to have this ID sent to your edit function. So because this has been defined with the ID as the parameter, so from the button we need to send in the parameter, which is the ID of the record, the specific ID of the record. We need to go back to our search. Then we refresh this. Then when you click this edit button, you will see that you will be sent to the edit. Okay, you will be sent to the edit interface. However, right now we don't have that record. We don't have the existing record display. So now you can see that the button has sent in also the ID number 1. The ID number 1. Meaning that the user has selected user with ID 1 to be edited. Okay, so let's say we have here Aminah as the trainer name. When you click here, it will send the ID number 2 because Aminah ID record is number 2. So try, click, okay. So now you can see that the ID number is 2. Why? Because from your code, this will actually generate the ID number automatically based on that particular record you select. Okay. However, you cannot see yet Aminah inside this form. This form is supposed to display Aminah because the ID record for number 2 is belong to Aminah. Somehow, it is going to be difficult if you don't have the existing record for you to modify, for the user to modify. So let's say the existing data Aminah. Maybe the user would like to change Aminah binti Hassan for some reason. Okay, for some reason, for whatever reason. Okay, in order for the user to edit that particular record, so the user need to know the existing record. That is basic UI in a database whereby in order for you to edit new record, you need to be aware what is your existing record. How to make your user aware of existing record by displaying existing record. So how can we display existing record? We need to go back to our coding, whereby here you can see that inside the trainer controller, currently we are inside the trainer controller, which is the edit function. Here you can only see the command to display edit.blade.php. So how to provide data to edit.blade.php? How to provide the data? How to provide the data? You need to, obviously, we need to connect to the database lah, to the model. How can we connect to the model and retrieve the record with selected ID? Okay, how to retrieve record with that selected ID? So first, we need to do find by ID. So first, we need to find the specific ID that has been sent to this ID parameter. Why we do this? Because we need to make sure that the ID selected by user is still existing. It's still existing. Why it is important to make sure? Because inside the system, okay, they sometimes the other user, or what we call the other concurrent user, has deleted that particular record that we selected. That's the risk lah. Okay, that's the risk. That's one of the risks. That's why we need to make sure that the record with that particular specific ID is still exists, so that we can retrieve that data and send it to the edit.date.php. So this is how we select that particular record with that specific ID and send it back to the edit.date.php. So by sending this data back to edit.date.php, you can actually display the data, display the record inside the edit form. Okay. So next, we need to go back to edit.blade.php and display that particular selected record. How to do that? We need to add inside the text box the value. How to capture the value from the variable trainer. Okay, this is how we capture the previous value from the function edit. This function edit will retrieve data from the model and send it back to trainers, oh sorry, edit, send it back to edit.blade.php, which is this one. So when you arrive at edit.blade.php, we need to provide this value properties, add to the form control, to the text box. And we can use this method by providing the values equals to blah, blah, blah. And then later you will see that the existing, okay, the existing data will appear inside your form. Wait, see? So this is your existing record or your old record. Okay, how to do this? By capturing the data from the database inside this edit function controller and send it back to edit.blade.php, which is the form interface. And also we need to provide this value, okay, value inside the form, which will be displaying the trainer name, the trainer expert, and the trainer name. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to finish that.
Okay, sir.
And if you don't see the existing record, then later you can switch your screen or share your screen. 5 minutes, yeah? And to really send this data back to the new data or the edited data, the edited record to the database, we need to change this route into trainer.update. Trainer.update. And we will also provide another input, which is the ID. Okay, which is the ID, name ID. Okay, ID, which value is ID. However, we don't need this to be displayed. Okay, if you want to display, it's okay. You will see something like this. Oh, okay. Okay. The same, we need also the ID for this trainer update. Okay, here you can see the ID. But I don't want to display this ID. Okay, instead, I would change this form into something that is hidden. Still, this data of ID will be sent to the database server. However, the interface is hidden. Okay, you still actually can send the ID number back to the server. However, it is not displayed inside the form, inside the text box. So this approach, we need to set the type of the input as hidden. Okay, the type of input as hidden. And there's one more thing. Yeah, I'll explain first. Then I will provide the code. You can also check the video inside the KLMS, which has the same content as what I'm talking about. And for update, okay, for update routing, here you can see the update. Okay, here you can see the update route. Sorry. Okay, so the update function can be accessed from the update route name, trainer.update route name. However, you need to provide also the ID. Okay, the curly braces means this is the ID of the record. This require the ID of the record. So the curly braces is meant to mention that you need to call this, you need to access this update function with the record ID as the one of the compulsory parameter. However, one more thing, one more different between the other is you need to provide the method, form method using the put. It's not get, it's not post. Okay, usually we use the post and get method. However, this time around, they provide the method for the form transaction to be put, PUT or patch. So normally you use a form with method get or post. But this time around, you see another different method, which is put, not get, not post, but put. So how can we accommodate this into the form? One thing that we can do is actually we need to override the existing form method. And how to do that? You just add another hidden type, which put type hidden. This might be new for you, no problem. Name is method. So this is how to override the method of the form. And then also provide the value put, because this transaction requires the method put. You might want to know why. Previously we used post and normally get, okay, most or sometimes get. Mostly if you do transaction, data transaction using the form with method post, just provide the method inside this method post. However, this time around, our routing method changes. So we have this update function inside the trainer controller. In order to access this update function, we need to use the router name trainer.update by providing the ID of the record. However, we don't see get or post here. You need to use the method put or patch. Normally I use put lah. In order to accommodate this condition, we need to change some of the form attribute. Okay, we need to change some of the form attribute. So we have to override the method from post to put. So how to override this? By providing another controller which type is hidden and name is underscore method. The name is underscore method. And provide also the value put. So by doing this, you actually override. Override means you change the method from post into put. So this is how we do it in HTML or in Blade. So I'll copy this, okay, and I'll put it inside our WhatsApp group. So this is for our edit.blade.php. Okay, so the last step is to go to trainer controller with the function update. So this is the last step. You need to go to the trainer controller with the function update. This is where we can actually save the edited record. Okay, this is where actually we can save the updated record. So how to do this? Firstly, this is a regular checking. Okay, this is a regular checking. We need to make sure that particular ID is available, still available, that particular record with the ID is still available. Then we need to do the update function, training update. And I would like to request only, oh sorry, request means the data from the form. So we only will update or change the content with related to the trainer name, trainer expert, and also the trainer web. So we are currently in trainer controller function update. Then after that, we do the redirect. Okay, and go back to our index. Go back to our index with success. Okay, this success is actually the message that will be displayed, okay, to notify the user that the the trainer record has been updated. Trainer name, oh sorry, forgot the apostrophe. Request only type, okay, update, return a direct trainer with success. Okay. Okay, so the last one is to test. Okay, to test. So previously we have this facility to insert the record. So let's say I provide Abu mobile unique. So when you save record, you will see this message, right? The success message. So this is what I meant by redirect with success. Okay, this has been done previously inside the create form, but you can simply copy paste from the create.blade.php and put it inside the index. Okay, inside the index. So now, can we change the information about Abu? Okay, Abu here, I will need to add the full name. So click on the edit Abu, let's say Bakar. Contohnya lah Abu Bakar. Just a simple amendment. Abu Bakar dengan mobile ionic basic. Supposed to save this record. Oh sorry. Oh sorry. Silap. Trainer. Oh sorry. This is supposed to be trainer. Because we are dealing with the model trainer, not training. Sorry. We are dealing with the model trainer, not training. Again, we go back to Abu, click on edit, change to Abu Bakar. Save record. Why? In the controller. Update. What's happening? Trainer name, trainer expert, trainer web with success. Oh, okay. It's supposed to be key with the supposed to be we call it a key value pair. Okay, this is supposed to be key value pair. Okay, I'll provide. Okay, this is inside the update function. And I'll copy this, send it to your group. Where is it? Okay, let's refresh. Trainer. Oh, Abu Bakar. Dah tukar lah. Yang ni saya tukar pula Aminah. Hassan mobile. Hotel. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's supposed to happen lah. Dia akan hantar balik, send back to index. send back to index. However, our index does not accommodate what we call the success message display. So how to do that? We need to go back to our index. We need to go back to our index. Read. So this is what we previously did, showing the success message. And this is from the create.date.php. I'm copying this part. Okay, if message blah 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 alert success again. Okay, copy from here and paste it inside our index.blade.php on top of your table or before the formula. Then you can see something like this, Ahmad. Here, trainer record has been updated. So this coming from the success message. Okay, this coming from the success message. Okay, the success message provided from the trainer controller update. With success, trainer record has been updated. So any error on your part?
Sir, boleh tengok balik index.blade, sir?
Index, laju sangat ni. Index.blade.php, which part? Yang mana tu? Yang
baru tadi saya copy and paste tu.
Sebab saya copy paste dari create.blade.php, saya copy from create.blade.php, the line number 4 tu yang ada if message section success. So I copy from an if, okay, daripada if sampai an if. Copy from here. Where to find? Create.blade.php. Create.blade.php. We did this before in week 5, if I'm not mistaken. Create.blade.php. Copy from here. After the section, section tak payah copy. Just copy the part whereby you have the if and if. You have the if sampai lah and if. Copy this one, then go back to our index.blade.php and put it immediately after the title search page. Blah. This depending on your interface lah. Sometimes you can see this message success is on the top of your page. Sometimes it's below the page. But to make sure this display can be easily seen, just put it on the top lah. Just put it on the top.
Okay, sir. Sir, saya punya ada error lah, boleh tolong tak?
Okay, my part is done. So I'll check your interface lah, your code. So you can switch to try to share your. Okay, I'll stop my screen sharing so that you can